To build a house with every brand new Minecraft 1.21 block, I have to complete 3 phases. First of all, I need to gather all of the brand new blocks, which include a ton of copper and tough variants. For phase 2, I need to build the exterior of a house, and finally, phase 3 will involve me decorating the interior with a load of 1.21 features and creating an automatic crafting machine. But first, this is where I'm planning to build this first house, which is going to be a part of my mega city, as I transform this savanna biome. But today I'm starting off small, so I need to gather a bunch of materials, such as all of the copper variants, all of the tough variants, and a ton of calcite, as yes, it's not a 1.21 block, however it does look really nice with the tough and copper. To gather a bunch of copper, I've already got a really good idea. You see, in Minecraft 1.21, a brand new structure known as the trial chambers was added into the game, and this structure contains a bunch of copper and tough which I'm going to need. So hopefully it's right through this portal, but to be honest, I have no idea. No, this is a desert village. To be honest, I can't find the portal I'm looking for anywhere, so it's probably just better to fly through the overworld. And we're now on day 1969 inside of this hardcore world. Nice. Along my way, I found a jungle temple. Anything interesting inside? How do I get in? Through here. Let's just break through the wall. Oh, we found some armor trims. That's pretty cool. Don't really need the iron, though. Go straight through here. Oh my god, there's a creep. Oh, there's a load of creepers. And, oh, that was really worth it. With distractions aside, it's time to head east in order to find this trial chamber. And I can't lie, this is the 4th video in a row that I've been to a trial chamber. You know what? I'm really not looking forward to fighting mobs, so hopefully none spawn. Okay, they're gonna spawn. I'm just here for copper. I'm just here for copper. I'll just get rid of these strays really quick. I just want copper. That's all I want today. Yeah, I don't want chicken. Now, despite building a house out of every single 1.21 block, there are a few blocks which I'm not going to be including. These include the copper doors. I'll be adding a couple in, but I'm not going to have room to add 4 different types of doors. I'm not going to be adding any unwaxed copper, as I don't want it to change the look over time. And obviously, I won't be adding the unobtainable blocks, such as the trial spawner and the trial vault. But other than that, I'm going to be building with every single block, plus some blocks which already exist in the game. I'm very glad all this copper I'm mining is just oxidized, as I can then strip it into any form that I want. Go away, spider. And whilst I'm here to save crafting them later, I'm going to be grabbing all of these bulbs, as they end up being very expensive, and I really don't want to waste a ton of blaze rods. I'd much rather just pick them up from the trial chambers. And I can do the same to the grates. Just another quick distraction, I do have a ton of ominous keys, so it might as well spend them on the vaults to see if I get any interesting loot. Banner pattern, arrows, wind charge, arrows, iron block. Okay, yeah, that's not very good. And just remember, we're only on phase 1 of building a house out of every single Minecraft 1.21 block. We've still actually got to build the house and do the interior, including adding an automatic crafting station. I've hopefully now got all the copper blocks I'm going to need. Don't worry about me grabbing any tough, as I've got a ton of tough left over at my base in shulker boxes. I mean, to be fair, I've got a lot of copper as well, but I don't really want to waste all the copper I already have, as it's quite annoying to get. We've already made a great start on all of the blocks I'm going to need. However, there's a ton of tough and calcite I need to gather. Luckily though, all the tough should be in one of these shulker boxes somewhere. Is it this one? Oh yeah, I've got a shulker box full of tough. I shouldn't need too much, to be honest. But obviously, I now need to head over to the stone cutter in order to create stacks of the other blocks I'm going to need, like chisel tough brick, polished tough, and I'll grab a couple of stacks of those, tough bricks, which I'm definitely going to need a few stacks of, and I'll also create some walls of each of them. Yeah, I kind of forgot to look in my tough materials box, and I have all of the blocks I'm going to need already. One thing I did also forget to do is get all of the copper variants I'm going to need, as it's not just waxed oxidized, it's all of the types of copper, and for that I'm going to need a bunch of honeycomb. Which is why I'm very glad I've been farming my bees for a long time. Hopefully there's a lot of honeycomb in here. Oh yeah, that should be enough, hopefully. More like that should be enough. I'll just make the copper. And using light matica, I can see exactly how many blocks of each I'm going to need. For example, I'm going to need 81 waxed exposed cut copper blocks, which shouldn't be too bad. 80 waxed cut copper, 29 waxed weathered, but only 8 waxed oxidized cut copper blocks. But one very cool thing about Minecraft is the fact that you can put a couple bits of copper into the stone cutter. So 1 block of copper turns into 4 cut copper. So we're basically duplicating blocks, but at least we've got all the waxed oxidized we're going to need already. And honestly, a quick life hack will be to grab a few bits of copper and place them down, and then unwax all of them, and get it to the stage that I need so I can cut it and then have to wax it later on. Now that I've got this copper to the stage I'm going to need, I need to wax all of it, so that I can use a stone cutter to turn it into cut copper blocks. And that's a regular cut copper. Now that I've gathered all of the cut coppers, I now need to do the same with all the chiseled coppers. Luckily though, I won't need as much chiseled copper, but it still makes 4 every time, which is very nice. Once again, I can do the same, this time for grates. But just remember, as I'm gathering all of these blocks, we're still only on phase 1, as there are still 2 more phases that need to be completed until I've completely built a house out of every single 1.21 block. So if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you are subscribed, as it does really help out my channel and I want to see how many subscribers I can be on by the end of the year. In total, I'm going to need 4 copper doors, 2 oxidized and 2 not oxidized. However, you can't even craft oxidized doors, as yeah, you need to use ingots, so we have to leave them out weathering for a long time. Luckily, I have a lot of copper though, so we can actually craft all the doors we're going to need. And I guess for now, we just leave 2 of them out in the open and watch them oxidize. Never mind, I'm being a massive idiot. I've already got 2 from the trial chambers earlier. And that's also now all of the bulbs I'm going to use. So the only thing left is trapdoors. And luckily, I have 32 oxidized copper trapdoors in here, although I'm only going to need 25 actual oxidized ones. I'm also going to need 22 regular copper trapdoors, as well as 18 exposed. Annoyingly, I need to wait for these ones to oxidize. Oh, that's lucky, one of them immediately did. Okay, that's one less we now need to wait for. A couple more have already also oxidized, so honestly this shouldn't take too long, hopefully. We'll just lay out the final few though. And I'm also going to need 11 weathered ones, so I've got even more laying out to do. Oh, luckily there's one right there. I also need to make sure I wax all of these so they don't oxidize any further once I've actually built the build. Whilst waiting for more copper to oxidize, I started gathering more of the materials needed, such as dark oak and acacia wood. I know these weren't added in 1.21, but they do end up making the build look a whole lot more detailed. So now that I'm back, all the trapdoors have oxidized, right? Right? No, I've still got to wait for a few more. So in the meantime, it's time to gather all the calcite and diorite that I'm going to need. I have explained this multiple times already, but these aren't 1.21 blocks, but they do make the build look a whole lot better. Luckily, this diorite should be fairly easy to gather. However, the calcite that I'm going to need will probably be a bit more difficult, as there are only 2 places inside of the game that you're able to find it: Amethyst Geodes and in Stony Peak biomes. Luckily, there's a Stony Peaks biome at my spawn. However, it is visible and will be visible from my giant city I have planned, so I really don't want to destroy any more than I already have for some reason. Yeah, it doesn't look great right now. I'll fix it eventually, but that means I'll have to find calcite somewhere else. And that somewhere else is one of these Amethyst Geodes. Wow, this is fully grown. To be fair, it has been under my spawn for almost 2,000 days. So yeah, that does make sense. Now that I've gathered both of these materials, all the copper's oxidized, right? Yeah, this is getting very boring. Now I need to find another resource to gather. But this time it's probably Minecraft's best block, spruce wood. Whilst I'm in this taiga, I'm pretty sure somewhere around here, yep, there it is, there's an azalea tree, and I do need a few azalea leaves for this build. With these 2 next materials, I'm going the wrong way. With these next materials gathered, I'm 1 step closer to moving on to phase 2, in which we're actually going to be building a house out of every single Minecraft 1.21 block. Am I going the right way this time? I actually am, that's quite surprising. Now that I'm back, have any more of my trapdoors oxidized? Oh, that one has, that's good. Just waiting on a few more now. I've done some work off camera, and by that I mean I've filled up 2 shulker boxes full of all the blocks we're going to need. Have those 2 trapdoors oxidized? Of course I haven't. We're literally on day 1979 now, and they're still not oxidized. I guess one thing I haven't done yet is actually show off the area I'm planning to build it in. And it's right here, right behind my industrial district and my factories. I want to build the house out of every single 1.21 block. As eventually, I want that to be a part of my giant mega city which I have planned, which will hopefully spread all across this plains and savanna biome. All around sort of this corner here, near where my castle is right there. And I also want to transform this village eventually. However, we're going to have to take it 1 step at a time. So if you like the sounds of that, make sure to subscribe. There are a lot of mobs, I might as well sleep. Hopefully that speeds up the copper a little bit more. Yeah, I've waited a while for these to oxidize, and then I realized I've literally got some spare oxidized ones already. So I don't even need to wait for these ones. which is quite good. All I do need to do is de-wax them though, and put them down to that layer, and then wax them again. Now with every single block, decoration, and copper block needed, I can finally start to build a house out of every single Minecraft 1.21 block. So it's time to move on to phase 2, at last. For phase 2, we're actually going to start building, which is why I've already got out all the copper trapdoors, spruce trapdoors, and all the tough blocks we're going to need. Alright, I've laid out the corners using this polished tough block, and using Light Matica, I can see where I need to place every single block. Some people may see using Light Matica as cheating, however, I did design this build myself, and did gather all the resources myself, so it just makes it a lot easier to build. Also, this bit is self-explanatory, as it's basically just a rectangle made out of tuff and tough brick, with polished on the corners, and then some chiseled tuff up there. Whilst it seems like this is the entrance right here to the building, it's actually not, although it does have a doorway, and for that we are using the new copper doors, and some copper trap doors. This is actually going to be like the basement area, as there's going to be a staircase up here, going to the main house up there. As there's going to be a staircase around the corner, I'm going to fence it off with 2 doors, and then just fill in the rest with trap doors. Yeah, I think that looks good. I decided to add some copper trapdoors on the top just to add some more detail, as well as using another one of the blocks. And don't worry, eventually this all will be connected with a path. But for now, I want to add in a staircase. For that, I'm going to need some spruce fence gates and some stairs. Now that the staircase is in, all I need to do is add the fence gates onto the bottom to look like more of a support. Just wish I had added copper fence gates and fences into the game. I think that would look a whole lot better. I now want to add in some weathered copper stairs and trapdoors going along like this. And we'll also add it onto this side. And we've now got to the part where I need to start adding in all the details, such as all the diorite and calcite needed. I've done a bit of work on it now, and it's now up to the point where I need to start building the roof. But honestly, so far, I think it looks pretty good, and we have already included almost every 1.21 block. However, there is one important one we are still missing, which is chiseled copper. Luckily though, I've got a load in my inventory as it goes on the roof. Yeah, I'm a fan of this roof. I really like the gradient I've done from just regular copper, up to sort of more of a weathered one, up to the oxidized right at the top. And the best part is, it does include every type of brand new chiseled copper block. Don't worry, I have realized there's a massive hole here, but that's, just like around the other builds in this area, is for a chimney. I think this design right here looks really good for a chimney. All I now need to add on top is 4 flower pots. Yeah, I think that will look pretty good. Wait, why is there another hole here? Well, it's obviously for some weird iron bar sort of antenna thing. I'm not really sure, but I have included it on a couple more of my factories, like this one here and this one here. So I thought it just did look nice and does fit the area. There is something I'm missing right here to add even more detail. So I need a tough brick wall, 2 polished tough walls, a waxed copper bulb, a daylight sensor, which I want to turn to night, and then get 4 waxed copper trapdoors and put it around it. Obviously, for the entrance of this house, it needs a door, which is why I'm using the oxidized doors, and it also needs a ceiling, which is why I've got some stripped spruce logs and some spruce slabs. Obviously, there are some more decorations which need to be added, such as flower pots with some torch flowers, which look pretty cool as we look out of the copper grate windows. I think just adding a few more decorations, such as the flower pots and the glow berries, really helped. But that's actually phase 2 complete, as I'll do the interior another time, as we need to move on to phase 3, which involves using the crafter. Now, first of all, how do I even craft the crafter? I assume I'm going to need some redstone, maybe a dropper, maybe a dispenser. Oh, it was a dropper, I think. Got the crafting recipe, but I'll try not to use it. What else? I feel like I'll need a crafting table, or maybe some iron, and I think I've got some iron in my villager trading hall. Yeah, okay. Can I craft a crafter? Oh, I can. How do we do it? 5 iron, a crafting table, 2 redstone, and a dropper. Alright. Yeah, that's not too bad. Now we've actually got a crafter for the first time. Yeah, it does look really cool. And it breaks with a pickaxe. Oh, I don't want to see what happens if I break it with an axe. And it is rotational. That's pretty cool. Alright, I've gathered all the materials I'm hopefully going to need to build this auto crafter system. I think. I'm actually not too sure. But I want to do it up here. This could be sort of a crafting space, even though I probably won't use it too often. Alright, so I've sort of built the system. All it needs basically is levers, a piston, and observers. And that should automatically make the crafter work, I think. Okay, put that back up though. We need to actually place the crafter down. One of the cool things about the crafter is when it spits out items, you can put it immediately into a chest without the need of a hopper. Okay, and this is only for 2 items. So we might as well try it out with some fireworks. I barely have any paper. Alright, we'll try it out with a half a stack for now. So all we need to do is lock all of these slots. We'll put 16 and 16 in there. Put the gunpowder and the paper in just so we know it works. Which I'm pretty sure it does. It needs to just fully load. Which it now has. We need to flick the lever. And yeah, it should be filling in. Meaning we have made an automatic crafting sort of station. Which is phase 3 completed. So there we go, that's a house built out of every single Minecraft 1.21 block. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to subscribe. And now we're only 17 days away to the big day 2000.